Good afternoon, or what is a cool, grey and overcast day. It is Wednesday, November 2nd, and I have a nice hot cup of tea and a parcel to unbox. So let's find out what is in here. Oh, heavy glue, so that's from drivethrurpg.com. What I've got is that, which is the Red Deer Saga. Okay, so this is the campaign and source material for the Namoldin clan of the Milani tribe. It includes new runes, spirit magic, cults and creatures, additional rules and details on metalwork, brewing and hunting, details of sites and locations within the clan Tula and around Dragon Pass, detailed NPC, enemies and allies, pre-generated characters, as well as rules for generating additional player characters. A series of adventures and hooks that run from Earth Season 1625 to Sea Season 1626. This is available on the Johnstown Compendium. It's a setting, basically, it's a setting and tribal source book or clan source book for RuneQuest role-playing in Glorantha. You can adapt it to the rules of your choice, but it's written for RuneQuest role-playing in Glorantha. So open up. This is, it's come from the drivethrurpg.com introduction, and then we get into quite a lengthy list, contents list, listed of the runes there that all come into play as part of the campaign and the setting. First off, we delve into the details of the Milani tribe and its history, and the clans of the Milani, which will include the Namoldin. Now, some of this I've already looked at, reviewed it and quite enjoyed it, but this collects everything. So it focuses on the Namoldin clan, its members, and we've got details of the tattoos that the player character members would wear, NPCs, and so on. Before we look at just general background of the clan, quite a lot of detail here. And then we get on to gods, heroes, myths of the Namoldin. Now, none of this is canon. It falls under the adage "Your Glorantha may vary," and much of the content on the Johnstown Compendium falls under that. You can take this, adapt it, use it in your campaign as you will. It's all there and available if you want to use it. So we've got a complete history of the Namoldin, their gods and myths, the length of their lands, their Tula, and a detailed description of the area as well. So quite text heavy. There's a lot to read in here and go through. We have locations in detail, various chieftains listings, contents of the buildings, the various NPCs who live there. More steads, trading point with fishing huts, basically for fishing and trading there. The Blackstead, which has collapsed. Another location for famous bell. And then below that we have a location called Soggy Bottom. I doubt a lot of cakes get cooked there. To the Tunnelang's Towers, another feature of the area. And then we have a map of, the Red Deer Village, which is obviously tied into the Red Deer Saga. Again, illustrations of the NPCs and the village itself, and just more details, like of the Stick Picker village and the villages themselves. you've just got listings of these characters. They're not necessarily stats. They don't really need them at this point. It's up to the game master to provide them, you know, if absolutely necessary, or they are provided later on in the book. Otherwise, they'll be just sort of like pages and pages of stats at this point. So yeah, you know, so we've got the people down at Brados Wharf, mostly fishermen. And then locals in depth. Here we have the stats for those who are important, with the occasional illustration. You know, the artwork is it works. You know, for what it is, it's not necessarily great, but you know, it's enough. You know, so we have full stats of these characters as well. You know, so that you've got access to the simple backgrounds earlier. You know, that the game master can use in just simple interaction. When it comes down to combat or, you know, face-offs or something, then you've got the more information, but the more stats later on. So flipping through all the stats, so quite a lot of them. Details. There's a rebel runner nest nearby. So yeah, lots and lots of stats and pages of them. In fact. And that's no bad thing, you know. Looking at sample, you know, it shows that the writer's been, you know, obviously been creative, trying to support the campaign, you know, with all this information. Then we have the cousins, the Namoldin and the Soggy Bottom. So stats and details for them. So on, just then we come to, this is where it gets a bit more interesting potentially for the player characters from the start. We've got pre-generated player characters and their relationships, and tables for creating those links, tying them into the tribe, and thus into the campaign. And then Namoldin rights. So these are the things which, you know, the Namoldin hold important and adhere to. So whether that's the funeral rites, the Urnfield, love and marriage, courtship, so on, initiation, so on, and then more details of character generation. How to do that? How to make characters which are particular to the Namoldin clan, tying it into particular cults and so on. You know, because there are going to be ones that the clan favours, crafts of the Namoldin, what they specialise in manufacturing, in making. You know, whether that's brewing, butchery, furs, tattooists. We've got additional cults. So we've got a cult of Arval Skyward, tattooists, cult of Boris, the cult god of the Borani River, so on. What else we've got in here? Yep. So a couple of additional cults there, and the neighbours will deal with, you know. Relationships going to be difficult sometimes, you know, difficult or easy and so on. So stats and details for them nearby, including the Collie tribe. You know, including them important locations, stats. Just, you know, the rest of the Corey tribe. Or clan, sorry. Just a wealth of detail. New rules, including art pieces and crafting, the smithy. You know, what that's doing is providing rules and mechanics for some of the elements that the clan holds. You know, all clans hold important. These things is important. But when you play characters, you know, generally you'll be thinking about combat and magic and so on, not necessarily about you know, crafting or art and so on, but you can play that sort of character. It's perfectly possible. So you've got rules of crafting and metalworking and so on. typical weapons of the tribes, including more new weapons there. And then we've got details on handling brewing, trading and markets. So these are going to be, these again fall under your Glorantha may vary. You know, we've just had the weapons and equipment guide out. That is going to cover some of that. And then we have barroom competitions which you can bring into play. You know, when you're spending the long dark nights of dark and storm season. Steads and stead building, so you can invest in your character and background. You know, potentially, you know, make a home for yourself. Details on hunting. New beasts and plants. So stats and details for them as well as the NPCs in the rest of the book. Potential adventures are in and around the Red Deer clan, such as the White Stone Ruin. So, I mean, obviously these have been worked up from the author's own hand campaign, and I mean, again, it's born of his experience and years of playing the game and bringing these to the table. We've got the cult of the Storm Dragon there. So these again will probably vary from what you expect for your RuneQuest game. You know, so you can go in and pick and choose what you want, or play as is, experience it essentially as he ran it for his players. Giant spirit turtle there. Basically encounter, you can actually, the turtle will set you riddles. Countering Old Fool's Day, traders, trade and so on, bringing that into play, and dealing with the Boreani River Trading Company. And then encounters like with dog rats, you know, tracking those down and taking them out. Adventures around Red Deer, Dark Season, so you know, you can start in there, and you've got this list of adventures which can kick off, you know, help kick off a campaign. So, Elgar's Blade, another adventure, and these have all been, I mean, this is a collation of previous material into the one book, you know, but the, you know, this is, you know, it's great to have it all in one place. Here we've got the encounter with trolls. Trouble in the hills. Trouble in hills, as the cliche goes. And continuing adventures, essentially list by year, season by season. And a table for, you know, slotting them into the campaign, knowing where you can to run them, what other things might be happening. And you encounters of the Red Soldier. You encounter here with the Soldiers of the Red Moon. So you've got a encounter with Lunas here, presumably. And more. Dealing with the Rostakorik clan. Just more. There's so much here to really delve into. And we have the dragon erupts, so fantastic. You know, when that occurs, and then there's a Johnstown theft. Rumours of thefts from the Johnstown Library. Adventures around here. So this is getting into Fire Season 1626. Basically, Arnath's final vision, essentially the player characters have been responding to a series of visions from Arnath, from the NPC Arnath throughout. ultimately getting into the Battle of Queens, which is an important battle, and that's one that's been sort of treated a few times before, looked at, because it's such an important turning point in the history of the future history of Sartar, so the player characters get to involved in that, to play their role, and help sort of serve the campaign, serve the clan, and this is how it will ultimately end. So yeah, huge amount of wealth material. It will keep the campaign going, or set a campaign up and get it going. With this and just the sort of like the core rule book and probably the red book of magic. But you've got rules in here for mass combat as well, for the final combat. This is essentially, we've got maps at the end as well. This is the Red Deer Clout Saga, available from the Johnstone Compendium for RuneQuest Roleplaying and Glorantha. Basically, taking basically a look at a particular history of a clan during sort of current turbulent period of RuneQuest Roleplaying and Glorantha. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a package containing a book or game which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. All, of course, accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.